You're looking at a picture of Isabella Thallas. This young woman was shot and killed. And anytime we cover a story here on Court TV and someone tells me what happened to the victim, the first question I always have is why? And in this case, when I found out why, my reaction is, are you kidding me? This is unconscionable, unconscionable. I mean, and the story is, it's such a story. She's walking a dog, that dog right there, taking her dog for a walk. I mean, how many of you watching right now have taken your dog for a walk today? Will take your dog for a walk tonight? I mean, it's just what we do. It's like, it's a loving gesture, you know, that relationship between, mom and dad and their little doggie, and you take him out for a walk, and there's nothing wrong with that. And because she did that, she ended up being shot and killed. I don't understand this. I really don't. But Julie Grant has more for us tonight.
Isabella Thallas turned 21 on June 8th. She planned to celebrate later in the week with her dad.
I didn't get an opportunity to celebrate her birthday with her. You know, I still had her birthday gift. So I didn't get a chance to hug her and give her a kiss and give her her gift. You know, at 21, they're busy, they got things going, and I said, hey, no big deal, we'll catch up on the weekend.
On June 10th, Thallas and her boyfriend went on a walk with her dog, but that walk turned deadly.
I actually got a phone call from my youngest daughter, and she called and said, Dad, Bella's been shot. And at the time, I was in shock. I was just getting home from work. It was about 1 or so in the afternoon. And I said, what does that mean? And she says, well, the news just came out that one person's been shot and one is in surgery and one did not survive.
Thallas's boyfriend, Darian Simon, was seriously injured with a shattered femur, but survived to tell his girlfriend's father about the shooting.
He says, I feel like the bullets just wouldn't stop. He was guessing 30 rounds or more.
Denver police say the suspected shooter, Michael Close, was angry the couple's dog defecated near his ground floor apartment.
At that point, Darian said, he said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. He said, the dog's a service dog. It's trained to go to the bathroom. It's a trained animal.
Simon cleaned up after the dog.
At that time, when he was picking up the poop, he turned around and looked back at the window. And he said the man was crouching down.
That's when the gunfire erupted and Thallas was shot to death. Her father says she lived her life trying to make the world a better place. Joshua Thallas says his daughter's kindness touched complete strangers. One of them shared this story with him at her vigil.
She would make a point to stop and come over and say hello to me every time she saw me. He says, I'm a nobody. I'm a weed puller here with the bus company. He says, I'm just a groundskeeper. I'm a nobody. And it just really filled my heart with light and love that's truly a human being she was. Just didn't matter if you were the CEO or the weed picker, that she treated everybody with just so much kindness and love.
Her dad says she encouraged people to do their very best.
Bella always challenged our family to be a better human being than the one you were the day before. So we really promoted that and lived by that.
Thallas worked with her boyfriend at the company he co-founded called Be a Good Person.
They strived within their four walls and as human beings to really promote exactly what the clothing line says, was to be a good person.
The family is raising money through GoFundMe to build a dog park where Thallas was killed. They want to carry on her legacy of bringing people together and also create something positive that comes out of their heartbreaking loss.
And her sister says, well, Dad, that's not okay. She wasn't doing anything wrong. Maybe there should be a place where the people and the dogs can go to have a place.
Meanwhile, there's a place where Thallas's memory lives on, a mural painted by artists in her community. As for Michael Close, he faces first-degree murder and other charges relating to the use of a high-capacity ammunition magazine. While family members wait for justice to take its course, they struggle to make sense of their loss.
I believe sometimes the Lord picks the most beautiful flowers first, and this, like I said, this one was really hard. Really, really hard because there was truly no reasoning behind it. That's the hardest piece.
No reasoning is 100% right. And Isabella's Father Josh is joining us tonight from Denver, Colorado. Josh, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
This happened right before her birthday, and now we're just after the holidays. How are you holding up?
Obviously coming through the holidays is super difficult, especially when you've done the same thing for 20 plus years, the same traditions with the same people. So having her not be there and a part of our family and what goes on has been horrible. You know, Especially for an act that had no reasoning behind it. It's been super, super difficult. But we as a family try and, round the wagons and hold close to one another and continue to push forward in her name and love like she always shared. So,
There's so many things that you said in that piece that struck me, but seeing her literally wearing a shirt saying, be a good person, and making that, what she does, she's working at the company, be a good person. What a loss. I mean, I look at a story like this, it's obvious how it touches you, but all the other lives that she was trying and was making better.
yeah, it's amazing. You raise young women to be powerful and independent and produce for the world and themselves, and you don't realize how many lives she had no agenda in life. There was never a platform she stood on and screamed from the tops of the world, check me out, I'm a fantastic human being. That was not her thing. So everything was so low key and under the radar that we had no idea most of the time, what she was involved in, until truly her life was taken. And at her services, it was mind boggling how many young and old, black, white. I mean, there was just no agenda to the human beings that showed up. She impacted. So,
Josh, unfortunately, for me in the work that I do here, I speak with people like you, and it's unfortunate because of the circumstances. It seems like you have a great family, so it's nice to speak with you, but I wish it was different circumstances. The one thing I understand, though, is that there's never closure for a family. The only thing that can be delivered is some sense of justice. Where do you feel like you are in that process right now?
It's hard with COVID and everything happening. There's been a lot of changes and difficulties we've had to endure here in Denver, Colorado. But, we've had one live court appearance. The rest have been remote. So it's just a lot of continuations and dealing with anything remote. It takes away so much from inflection on somebody's voice or their facial expression. So we're doing the best we can to kind of hold this thing together. We truly may be the first court case here in Denver, Colorado, first murder trial that goes on that is fully virtual. We just don't know at the moment.
There was a hearing today, wasn't there?
There was, and it was a continuance. It'll be pushed out till March 8th. On March 8th, he'll have an option to plead guilty or not to the charges that are set before him. And we feel as a family he'll probably plead not guilty, as there's no different option for him other than life in prison with no parole.
Now, the other part of this, and obviously you want a sense of justice for you and your family, but where all this took place, there are thousands of apartments there.
It's mind-boggling. So I say thousands. Truly, at any given day, I'm down there, and I'm usually down there daily. I can be there within 30 minutes and watch 10 people walk past with their animals. So it's just a plethora of human beings there, day in and day out. So when I say 1 in a million, I truly believe in my heart it could have been 1 in a million. It just happened to be that one right at that very moment. It happened to be her and Darian.
I want you to talk a little bit about, and we heard Julie mention this, the Bella Joy Memorial, which is you're going to try to raise some money to memorialize a place where folks can take their dogs, and a place where you can remember the spirit and the love of Bella. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So, like I said, downtown Denver, the population down there, human beings, is amazing. There's no place to take your animals down there next to course field. It is packed full of human beings, and no place. We're working desperately to put some money together. of course, our family and her friends were impacted by all this. We know for a fact the community was also devastated by this. We would love to have an opportunity through Denver Parks and Rec, privately owned, a space of some kind we can set up and designate a dog park area where somebody can take their animal to enjoy their time and share a conversation with a stranger and what that might be. We're working really hard to make that a thing.
Well, Josh, your strength is admirable. I have a daughter myself. It was difficult enough being separated because of the conditions that are going on. Your separation is to a whole nother level, but I know you'll be there every step of the way for her and for your family. And please accept our deepest sympathies to your entire family. And I hope we'll speak again in the future as we continue to track this case.
Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful evening.
You too.